Let's make some patties.
Johnny Ice, that boy cold.
I know you like that. Hey, I know you like that. Hey, I know you like that. Hey, I know you like that. Whoa, taking exotic trips. I know you like that. Whoa, switching up all the way.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today on my channel we are going to be making Jamaican beef patties. They are so good. I'll be giving you all the full recipe and going through every instruction with you guys. So if you want to see this video, then you definitely want to stay tuned. I'm gonna make it as easy as possible for you guys to follow, because if you're watching this, clearly you want to make this at home. So before we get started, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up so that I know that you would like more content just like this here on my channel. And if you'd like a post notification shout out, I will need you to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so that you're notified every single time I upload a video, and then comment done down below. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so let's start making these beef patties. So the first thing you want to do is you have 3 ingredients that you need to prep. You need to prep your Scotch bonnet pepper, and these you can find at like small local grocery stores. And what you want to do is that middle part where all those seeds are from the Scotch bonnet pepper, you want to make sure to take those out as you're dicing up your Scotch bonnet pepper, because this will make your beef really spicy unless you want your beef patties really spicy. It's your preference, but if you just want regular beef patties, then you want to take that out and dice up your Scotch bonnet peppers, and they usually are green in color, the pepper, or red. And you also want to dice up a half of a medium-sized onion and also 3 stalks of green onion or scallion. So now it's time to make the actual crust for the patty. So these are the ingredients that you'll need here. So what you want to do is grab a mixing bowl as well as a sifter and add in your ingredients. So the first ingredient we'll be using is flour, and you're going to add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but don't sift it just yet. Now we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of curry powder, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. And then you want to go ahead and sift all of those ingredients together into your mixing bowl. And when adding in your curry and turmeric powder, think of it this way. The curry powder is going to be the flavor of the patty as well as color, and the turmeric powder is strictly color for the patty. So now all you want to do is take the other half of a utensil and go ahead and mix in all of those ingredients together, even though your sifter did an amazing job mixing it together. And now it's time to add in our other ingredients. So you could mix in your other ingredients with a fork or a spoon or a mixer like I have, but a mixer is not necessary. So now it's time to add in your butter, and you want to make sure that your butter is cold because you don't want it to start melting your batter and liquefy it. So you just want to go ahead and either take a fork to mix in all of your batter, or you could take a mixer like me and just mix that butter in with all of those dry ingredients. And you want the texture of the batter to come out a crumb-like texture. You do not want it to be smooth or creamy or anything like that. You want it to be crumb-like. So just make sure you mix all that butter in until you get the consistency like this, just like crumbs. So now it's time to add in water. So you want to add in cold water, and I added in 2 ounces of water exactly and mix in that batter. And you're gonna get a clay-like consistency. Don't get afraid of saying that clay-like consistency. All you have to do is add in just a little small handful of flour, and you'll get a consistency like this, where it will seem like Play-Doh. you want your batter to be like Play-Doh. So once you get your batter like Play-Doh, you want to go ahead and put on some plastic wrap and put your bowl into the refrigerator for about 40 minutes. So now it's time to make the meat. So of course we have what we prepped, and you're going to use all of these ingredients here that you see. So you want to go ahead and put your pan on a medium temperature and add in a little bit of oil. I added in grapeseed. You can use whatever oil you like, and you want to add in your onions, and you want to just saute those onions in for about a few minutes until they look transparent. They don't have to be cooked down completely, but once they start looking transparent, you can go ahead and add in some fresh garlic, just a teaspoon of garlic. And you want to also add in your 3 stalks of your scallions and your 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. So you want to just saute all of those ingredients for just a little bit, and then it's time to add in some soy sauce, just about 1.5 tablespoons, and then add in some ketchup, and you're going to add in 2 tablespoons of that, and you're going to mix all of that together. Then we're going to add in our ground beef, and my ground beef is on an 80-20 ratio, so it has about 20% fat, 80% lean, and you want to just mix all of those ingredients in with your beef. And we don't want to season our beef until it is fully cooked through, so you want to just make sure that you cook all of that meat through, because when you don't get a lean meat and you season it prior, the oils that come out of the meat are just going to drain those seasonings out. So you want to just make sure that meat is cooked fully through. So now it's time to season your meat. You want to go ahead and add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of seasoned salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme or dried thyme like I'm using, and then some all-purpose seasoning. You're going to use about 1 tablespoon of that. And then you're going to add in some garlic powder, and you're going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then what you want to do is mix all of those ingredients together into your meat. And then you want to take all of that excess oil and you want to go ahead and drain most of it. And now it's time to add in some browning. So you're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of browning into your meat, and that is just going to add color to it so that it gets that beef patty color to your meat. But you don't want to add too much because you don't want to throw off the flavor. And at this point you want to taste your meat and see where it's at. So I wanted to add just a little bit more ketchup for texture, but always taste your meat because when adding in more ingredients it can change the flavor. But for me the flavor was perfect, so I literally just added a little dollop more of ketchup, and for me the consistency of the meat and everything was perfect. Now at this point you can go ahead and add in your ground beef to a food processor, but that is optional and not necessary at all. So you're gonna want to take your crust out of the refrigerator now, and you want to flour your surface as well as your rolling pin, and also flour the top of your crust and begin to roll it out. And you want to roll it out as much as you can. You don't want to thin out your crust, but you do want to roll it out as much as it does roll out, because you do want to stretch it so that you can make as many patties as possible. And then you want to take a little bit of butter, this part is also optional, and just add little pieces around your crust for your patties. And then you want to go ahead and fold up your crust, add a little bit of flour on both sides, and then roll it out to mix in that butter that you just added into your patty crust. Then you want to put it back into a ball shape and just flour both sides of it, because your crust can begin to get a little soft because of adding that butter. And then once it's all floured again, you want to go ahead and roll out your patty crust one more time. And then you want to roll it up, stretch it out one more time, roll it under, and then put it back in the fridge for an additional 15 minutes. So once the 15 minutes have passed, you want to now roll out your patty crust, and now it's time to actually make our beef patties. So again, you want to roll it out as thin as you can get it, but not super thin where it's too thin to actually form a crust over the patty. Be sure to flour your surface so that nothing is sticking. And once it's rolled out all the way, you can go ahead and take a pizza cutter, and you want to just begin to slice your crust down the middle and take off any excess crust that you know can't form into a patty, and then cut your crust into square-like shapes. And then you want to add in ground beef into the middle of the crust on one side. I know I didn't show you guys a good visual here, but you will see a good visual for the second patty. And whatever baking pan you want to use, you want to just make sure to spray some non-cooking spray on it, just so that it doesn't stick. So like I said, you want to go ahead and add some ground beef into the middle of one side of the crust, and then you want to go ahead and press down the sides, and then take a fork and squish down each side of the patty just so that it's sealed in, and then take a pizza cutter and cut off any excess pieces of the crust until your patties look just like this, Jamaican beef patties. Then you want to go ahead and take some egg wash, and you want to just wipe some of that egg wash on top of the crust, because it's just going to add a nice golden brownness to your beef patties. And you want to do that to each one. And then once you finish doing that, your patties are ready for the oven, and you want to just bake your patties at 365 degrees for about 25 minutes. And at the 20-minute mark, you want to go ahead and check your patties, because depending on your oven, they could be done a little bit sooner. So this is what our patty is looking like. Once my camera focuses, you will see that beautiful golden brown Jamaican beef patty with a nice crumbly crust. And I decided to cut it in half just to show you guys what it's looking like in the middle. And this is what it's looking like. It looks so delicious. It's nice and moist in the middle, how it should be, and that crust looks perfectly golden. And you know your patty crust is perfect if you got some crumbs on the plate after cutting it. Because what's a Jamaican beef patty without the crumbs getting everywhere? So I definitely had to give my creation a try, and oh my goodness, that bite was perfect. So yummy and delicious. So guys, what did you think? Look at these babies. Clearly all of them are not here anymore because everyone's taking them to eat them. They literally smell so good, and look, they are completely golden crust. Perfect. If you guys liked how I made them and you want to try it, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment below if you have tried it and let me know how yours came out and what you guys think. And thank you all for tuning in. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button right now. And our post notification shout out winner goes to Quasia Johnson. Thank you so much for being subscribed and following all the steps to turn on your post notification. Just remember, you all do have a chance to be shouted out on one of my next videos just by making sure that you have your post notifications turned on and that you commented done down below. So I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you all so much for watching and joining the family. Love you guys. Bye.